Luo Feng. The fist-sized Labitte on his shoulder muttered, the distance between the Undying Galaxy and the Vili Galaxy is very far. Even if you ride the UNMO planet ship, it would take at least 8 days and we're still rushing there from the Ganwu Universe country. The distance between the Ganwu Universe country and the Guluan Universe country is too far, you'll have to ask Dylan for help to teleport through the God country. Otherwise we would have to spend at least half a year on the road. However, the Blood Demon trial starts in a month. Luo Feng nodded. However, he was thinking about which galaxy to go to. Have you chosen? Labitte asked. The Virtual Universe Company wants you to choose, one side is 1 million star levels, the other is 10 billion star travelers. From what I see, choosing the Star Traveler means that you are kind, seeing that there are more people, you chose the Vili Galaxy. And if you choose 1 million star level humans, it means that you, Luo Feng, have a stronger sense of survival. Many warriors in the universe think that the strong should have more survival rights. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. Under the Blood Demon King's high-pressure rule, to be able to reach the star state, everyone must have gone through many hardships and setbacks. As for the planetary state, a galaxy could produce tens of billions of planetary state members. Obviously, the Blood Demon King made the planetary state universal. It is the 10 billion people who have chosen the universal option. He still chose the 1 million star states that had gone through hardships and setbacks. I'll choose the Vili Galaxy. Luo Feng emphasized. Luo Feng didn't dare waste any time. That day he sat on the UNMO planet ship and left Earth. Dylan also used his God country teleportation to teleport to the Ufu star field within the ancient Luan universe country. After that, he would fly to the Vili Galaxy from the Feather Ridge star zone at his fastest speed. He estimated that it would take him 26 days. In the Dark Universe, the UNMO planet ship was advancing. Within the control room, Luo Feng and Dylan were discussing. What a coincidence. Dylan, the closest teleportation point from your divine nation to the Tua star field is the Feather Hill star field. It will take 26 days to reach the Veli star field and 25 days to reach the Minya star field. Luo Feng looked at Dylan, smiling and asking, did the Virtual Universe Company ask you before setting this mission? Dylan smiled and nodded slightly. Damn. Luo Feng couldn't help but to curse. As expected. The Virtual Universe Company had indeed calculated everything well, they had probably already ordered Dylan, even if he was in the Guluan Universe country or some other closer token, he was forbidden from using it. The Virtual Universe Company, everything starts from a nurturing point of view. Dylan smiled, don't be angry. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Towards the Virtual Universe Company, Luo Feng didn't have any grievances. As one Luo Feng had with the two powers, the Virtual Company, Luo Mo God how Luo Feng was Luo God. Ever since he joined the Virtual Universe Company, Luo Feng had always been satisfied, even the trade on Earth was considered balanced. If a normal person on Earth were to obtain a treasure, the treasure's value would probably exceed 1 million mixed elements. If Luo Feng wanted it with Luo Feng's position on Earth, he would probably buy it too. Mo would he chen least and would MT Long paying and 8 billion in a least. Long. From Luo Feng's point of view, this much money is enough for a normal person to live a carefree life. Least. To the Virtual Universe Company, Earth was the cradle that the foreign race warrior had spent so much effort to create, its value was immeasurable, even a powerful knight's entire fortune wouldn't amount to even 1% of Earth's value. However, they would never give Luo Feng such a huge amount of wealth. Your Majesty, why did you choose 10 billion star travelers and not 1 million star levels? Dylan asked curiously. Without any technology under the Blood Demon Emperor's high pressure, it's not easy for the 99% to reach the star level. And according to my research, the Du Tua star field's evolution rate is very high. On any life planet, you can find tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of star travelers. It's not hard to find 10 billion star travelers in a galaxy. These are all normal fighters. Everyone is an independent life. Luo Feng said softly. My home Earth has been through many calamities. I know how cruel death is. Just like my family. They were all normal people back then. Don't tell me their lives aren't valuable? At least in my eyes, my family is more valuable than 1 million sector lords. I'm afraid in the eyes of those normal people, their own lives are more valuable than 1 million star levels. 10 billion normal people should die and 1 million star levels should live? Luo Feng shook his head. There was no such thing. Maybe when it came to the survival of a race, one had to make some painful choices. For example, a race with millions of people dying just to protect the strongest. Because the strongest was their race's hope. And this time, Luo Feng's choice obviously didn't involve the survival of a race. Luo Feng's choice was naturally more straightforward. 26 days later. In the air above a completely yellow-colored planet, the UNMO planet ship floated. This is a planet with no life. It's like a ball, its largest diameter is 18,023 kilometers. Labitte's sharp voice resounded. According to the Virtual Universe Company's information, this is where the Blood Demon trials will be held. Look, there are already many people stationed on this planet. However, don't worry. They have no way of discovering us. Luo Feng gazed below. There were indeed over 100 people stationed on this mineral planet, most of them universe levels. Wait for the 10 billion star travelers to arrive. Luo Feng said softly. At this time, the 10 billion star travelers from the hundreds of thousands of planets in the Vili Galaxy were being transported by 10,000 universe ships. They were flying in the dark universe towards their destination. In one of the universe ships, there were 3 levels filled with large amounts of cages. Every cage held 10 star travelers. With a glance, every level was filled with countless star travelers. There were at least hundreds of thousands of them. Mother. Liz. Faint sounds of crying and mumbling could be heard from within the tens of thousands of cages. This was simply hell. Within one of the cages, dressed in tattered beast skin, a youth with a dirty face hugged a girl tightly. As under the rule of the Blood Demon Emperor, the evolution rate of the humans in the Dutua star field was very high. Hence, star traveler youths were very common. And out of consideration, they would often choose these youths to participate in the Blood Demon trials. Woo-wah. The youth hugged the girl. His dirty face had a pair of bright eyes, filled with desire to live. He muttered softly as though to himself, "Big brother will definitely let you live, definitely." The girl suddenly trembled. Looking up, it was a very delicate and pretty girl. Even though she was dirty, one could still tell she was very beautiful. However, within the Dutua star field, it had long been the concept that strength was number one. If one's strength wasn't enough, looks were useless. "Big brother." The girl said softly, "Will we die? I heard that out of 10 billion people in the Blood Devil Purgatory, only 100 can survive. Many of these 10 billion are the elites of their respective sects, possessing some psychic weapons, origin weapons and special secret arts. We don't have good weapons and only know basic arts, how can we survive?" The youth heard this and his tears flowed uncontrollably. He had a tragic life since young. His parents died early, and he brought his sister to roam the world. They trained hard in basic techniques and finally reached the Star Traveler level. They were able to live a stable and happy life. However, it hadn't even been 2 years. The two of them had no background at all and were caught to make up the numbers. One had to know that every planet had to gather enough people to participate in the Blood Demon trials. If normal people weren't enough, even Star Travelers with some background had to be caught. The Blood Demon trial was an order from the Blood Demon King. No one dared to go against it. "We will survive. We will survive. Big brother swears," the youth said softly. "And?" The girl replied softly and buried herself in her brother's embrace. Maybe. Before the nightmare of the purgatory came in the last few days, snuggling in her brother's embrace would be the happiest thing she could do. Definitely. The youth clenched his right hand tightly, his nails digging into his palm. His eyes had a hint of hysteria as he screamed in his heart, "You must let my sister survive. You must." 100 out of 10 billion. What did that mean? And they were all life and death battles. Even those geniuses with special techniques, genetic armors and genetic weapons would die if they weren't careful. After all, 10 billion people on a normal mineral planet. The population density was too high. Once they started fighting, who would dare say they would survive? And to survive to the end, one had to have strength, brains, guts, and he also needed that little bit of luck. The struggle at the bottom. All the star travelers locked up in the cages were worried about the Blood Demon Purgatory. No matter how strong they were, facing countless battles they would feel despair. 0229 ship, stop at position 0293. 3619 ship, stop at position 0123. The khaki-colored planet had long been slightly modified, and at this moment the dark purple flat spaceship in the sky above this dead planet was constantly commanding the incoming spaceships transporting the planet-level humans. After the spaceships arrived and landed on the planet, the cargo hatch opened. Large numbers of cages were opened. A large number of dirty men and women with a trace of fear on their faces walked out. The densely packed people kept walking to this dead planet. The planet's surface temperature was extremely low, around -80 degrees. Because it was a mineral planet, it was impossible to breathe. But star travelers didn't need to breathe. Woo-woo. So many people. The ships on the mineral planet took off after chasing the star travelers off. Those star travelers could see the densely packed figures in the distance. There were already over 5 billion people there. When had they ever seen such a terrifying number of star travelers? And at this moment, a blood-colored triangular ship with the stealth system was floating tens of thousands of kilometers above the planet, monitoring all the star travelers on the planet. Within the ship's control room, there are already 5,729 transport ships arriving. The number of star travelers has reached 5,729 billion. The control room resounded with Babata's shrill child's voice. Another universe transport ship has arrived, 5,730, 5,733, 5,734. Luo Feng and Dylan however gazed below silently. On this planet, the star travelers who were forced to participate in the Blood Demon trials, almost all of their faces were filled with fear and unease, all of them carefully looking at each other. Only those with truly good relationships would rely on each other and trust each other. That sort of fear and pressure. Luo Feng who was within the ship could feel it. 10 billion. Luo Feng said softly. To be ruled by the Blood Demon Emperor, it's their bad luck. Dylan shook his head. The virtual universe company doesn't care? Luo Feng frowned and shook his head. After all, these are all star travelers, they are all considered universe citizens. This is equivalent to a large-scale massacre, 10 billion. And it's like this in every galaxy. The Dutua starfield that the Blood Demon Emperor rules has over 10,000 galaxies, and these Blood Demon trials are long-term, killing so many universe citizens, there's no explanation at all? Dylan looked at Luo Feng, shaking his head. If it doesn't reach the bottom line, the virtual universe company, Battleaxe Dojo etc. can't do anything about it. Bottom line. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. He remembered what the mission said before. Because the number of people killed wasn't high, it didn't reach the bottom line, they couldn't be punished. This hasn't even reached the bottom line. What's the bottom line? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng, the bottom line is calculated according to the planet. Dylan explained, let's say every life planet can kill 200 star travelers every year, let's say a galaxy has 500,000 planets. Then a galaxy's yearly kill quota would be 100 million star travelers. Then this galaxy's 100-year kill quota would be 10 billion. Of course with different statuses, the bottom line is different too. For example, an Emperor-level Undying and a Universe Knight are naturally different. A Universe Knight can kill trillions of people and still wouldn't be punished. Of course, Universe Knights have their own bottom line too. Luo Feng understood a little as he listened. This was called privilege. Just like the Lord of the Void Gold, that level of being, even if he destroyed half a universe country and caused countless deaths, he would still be fine. At most, he would receive some simple punishment from the management of humanity. You can't ban killing when you're managing a planet's territory, right? Dylan said, the Blood Demon King rules the entire Traverse Galaxy. There are billions of planets under his rule, and he has countless citizens under his command. The Blood Demon trial doesn't limit him at all. After all, apart from the Blood Demon trial, the Blood Demon King will not wantonly massacre those planets. He also understands the principle of thin water flowing for a long time. Those billions of planets are developing very well and nurturing an endless stream of experts. His forces will naturally become more stable and powerful. Humph. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. This method of selecting the elites, isn't he afraid of those elites harboring hatred? So what if they have hatred? These elites are constantly being nurtured. Only by becoming a sector master will they have the qualifications to be invaded by their souls and become blood demon warriors. Dylan shook his head. Blood demon warrior? Luo Feng was stunned. Blood Demon King created a secret technique that allows him to control 999 undying slaves. Dylan calmly smiled. His undying disciples, undying slaves and world overlord disciples have also cultivated this secret art. Maybe they would only be able to control a few slaves, but those who are controlled are all elites. The Blood Demon King controls the undying servants and cultivates his disciples. The undying servants and disciples then control a group of servants. The most outstanding of the servants might have the qualifications to cultivate secret techniques to continue controlling the servants. Dylan sneered, but those who are controlled are the so-called Blood Demon warriors. Luo Feng's expression changed. And the Blood Demon trial is to select and nurture the candidate Blood Demon warriors. Dylan laughed coldly. The entire Traverse Galaxy nurtures countless elites and geniuses. Eventually they all become the Blood Demon King's underlings. The Blood Demon King's rule is incomparably stable. He's definitely an extremely terrifying being amongst the Emperor-level Undyings. When Luo Feng and Dylan were high in the sky waiting for the transport ships to gather, the dark purple ship in charge of commanding opened its cabin door, accepting a 100 m diameter flying saucer. Lord Labitte is here. Quickly welcome Lord Labitte, hurry up. Within the dark purple ship, a group of luxuriously dressed silhouettes. The weakest one was a Universe Level 3, with a Domain Lord as the leader. Over 100 Universe Level upper echelons swiftly ran to the cabin door. The small flying saucer had already entered. The flying saucer opened one side of the cabin door, following which a black armored man with snow-white skin and short white hair walked out. This black armored man's gaze was sharp as he looked around. The formless killing intent he emitted made the upper echelons of the Vili Galaxy all bow their heads respectfully. Behind him followed two guards, both Sector Lord Level 9. Greetings Lord Labitte. Over 100 people bowed respectfully. The snow-white-skinned, short white-haired black armored man nodded coldly. Has the Blood Demon trial members arrived? They've already reached 7 billion, they should all arrive within half a day. The Domain Lord leading the welcoming group said respectfully. This Lord Labitte nodded indifferently. He, Sector Lord Level 9, a core member of the Blood Demon planet. He too trained in the Blood Demon technique. The two guards behind him were two of the Blood Demon warriors he controlled. This time I'm in charge of supervising the entire Blood Demon trial. Ravit's cold gaze swept across the upper echelons of the Vili star system. The group of upper echelons were all uneasy. The control of the entire trial must be done well. Make sure that the 100 people selected are those who survived through endless slaughter and not those who survived to the end by hiding out of luck. Understand? Yes. The group of upper echelons replied. To the control room. Labitte brought the two Blood Demon warriors and headed straight for the control room. The upper echelons of the Vili Galaxy followed obediently behind. The transport ships arrived one by one, the cabin doors opened, large amounts of star travelers released from their cages walked out. The densely packed humans swiftly spread across every corner of this mineral planet. With a star traveler's energy sensing and flying speed, over 10 billion star travelers gathered on this mineral planet. The density was too exaggerated. Woo-wah. The youth standing on the rocky ground had a battle blade by his waist. He was holding the weak girl's hand beside him, carefully surveying the surroundings. The densely packed star travelers all felt a formless pressure. Later we'll follow the plan we discussed before. You support Big Brother, we'll work together, try to survive the first wave of slaughter, then find a secluded place. The girl looked around cautiously, formless spirit force spreading out. Nervous. Occasionally, a universe ship would arrive in the sky, sending over 1,000,000 star travelers, causing this pressure to grow. Mom. Someone had a mental breakdown, crying like a baby, only knowing how to call for mom. No one laughed at him. Almost 99% of the star travelers felt like they were about to break down. They had heard of the legend of the blood demon trial since young, the days in the cages on the ship, plus the gathering of countless star travelers, that killing intent, that fear, that pressure, it was enough to make them break down. Inside the dark purple flat ship, that snow-white-skinned, snow-white short-haired Lord Labitte was looking down at everything, looking at the fear and despair of the people below. Lord Labitte's eyes had a sliver of excitement, the muscles around his eyes were twitching, his entire person seemed to have entered a state of madness. Lord Labitte, now there are 9,992 universe ships here, the last 8 ships are about to arrive. The blood demon trial has officially begun. Please announce it, Lord Labitte. The leader of the upper echelons of Vili Star system, the domain lord, said respectfully. Hurry up. Labitte's eyes were filled with madness. I can't wait. The last 8 transport ships arrived one by one. When the last 8,000,000 star travelers were placed on the mineral planet, the transport ships took off. A cold voice reverberated throughout the entire mineral planet. Children. Out of the 10 billion of you, only 100 will survive, past the great blood demon trial. You will all become the most loyal and outstanding warriors of the blood demon planet. Now begin the slaughter. Kill everyone around you, kill them all. The voice just reverberated. But at this moment, 2 silhouettes swiftly descended from the sky. Labitte, activate the virtual universe network. Yes. Of the 2 figures, one was a black-haired young man clad in cyan armor. There was a golden sword mark on his forehead, and it was as if his entire body was faintly emanating an incomparably terrifying and sharp aura, as if countless golden swords were bursting forth. Beside him was an ordinary-looking bald man dressed in a black robe. Tens of thousands of kilometers, the 2 immediately rushed to the surface of the mineral planet. One world absorb. Luo Feng activated the world energy within his world ring, swiftly spreading it out, immediately enveloping the entire planet. The 10 billion star travelers who were about to begin the slaughter immediately vanished. This mineral planet immediately became desolate. And on the vast grass plains of Luo Feng's world ring, the 10 billion star travelers appeared. Puchi. Go and die. Kill. The 10 billion that had entered a frenzied state didn't even notice the changes around them. As Luo Feng absorbed them, a portion of them had already begun the slaughter. However, following that, they were all thrown onto the grass plains. The 10 billion were completely dumbfounded. Even the brother and sister that were dyed in blood looked around in shock. Luo Feng immediately absorbed all the star travelers on the mineral planet, simultaneously ordering, close the virtual universe network. Yes. Labitte replied. The second round of the mission was so simple it was completed just like that. Luo Feng shook his head. At this time, you dare to destroy the blood demon trial, you're looking to die. A raging roar resounded throughout the entire mineral planet. Simultaneously a terrifying blade light tore through the universe space, crossing over 10,000 kilometers and slicing towards Luo Feng. It was a curved blade-shaped spirit weapon with Sector Lord Level 9 world energy infused into it. It immediately drew out a universe space tear that was a few km long. The blade light traversed over 10,000 kilometers, slicing towards Luo Feng with an invincible aura. Voila! From Luo Feng's shoulder suddenly, 10 flexible vines shot through the air and swiftly expanded, instantly becoming 1,000 kilometers long vines that hung in mid-air. The 10 vines intertwined in mid-air, immediately wrapping around the spirit weapon. The spirit weapon continued to slash, slicing apart large amounts of vines. However, the cloud contact vine self-recovery speed was simply too fast, completely surpassing the spirit weapon's destruction speed, forcefully binding the spirit weapon and making it unable to break free. You dare to bind my weapon. A furious roar. In the distance, a snow-white light pierced through the air. Around him followed 8 other lights, all of Sector Lord Level 9 strength. Your Majesty, that white short-haired punk is called Labitte. When he was in the ship earlier, there were only 2 Sector Lord guards behind him, now there's suddenly 8. I estimate, these 8 are the blood demon warriors under his control. This Labitte is obviously one of the elites under the blood demon emperor. Dylan smiled and communicated. He was an undying proficient in the soul aspect. Every movement within the ship was clearly seen by him. Labitte and his 8 subordinates rushed over. 9 Sector Lord Level 9. Domain Lord Level Bastard, you actually dare to disrupt the matters of the blood demon planet? You're looking to die. Labitte roared, his eyes burning with rage. The blood demon emperor was a force to be reckoned with in the Guluan universe country. Other than the universe country leader of the country who could stop him. After a trillion years of dominance he was already used to it. Now there was actually someone who dared to disrupt the blood demon trial. Wasn't that just looking to die? Rumble. Dylan, who had been standing beside Luo Feng all this while, smiled. He had been hiding his strength earlier, but now he suddenly exploded with a powerful energy. A strong glaring gold light immediately enveloped the 9 sector lords, almost like a sturdy rope that immediately bound them. The 9 sector lords were all bound by the undying energy. Labitte gritted his teeth and struggled, however he couldn't break free. Undying. Ravid stared at Dylan. Master. The 8 world overlords under him also struggled and shouted at the same time. You've hidden it well. Labitte stared angrily at Dylan, roaring, "Just now when I was checking your strength, you Undying were hiding your strength, only now did you erupt. Why, are you very proud of bullying a world lord like me?" Labitte's crazed gaze swept towards Luo Feng and Dylan. "Who are you? Who is it? Who are you, Undying, to dare disrupt the Blood Demon King's matters? Do you have a death wish?" Labitte stared at Dylan. "You really have guts." Dylan smiled and glanced at Labitte, speaking softly, his voice resounding in Labitte's mind. "Even though your ancestor Blood Demon Emperor is powerful, compared to our virtual universe company he's nothing. However, the Blood Demon King is still my senior, so I won't go so far as to take your life." Dylan's smile blossomed. Rumble. The 8 sector lords under Labitte were invaded by the Undying energy and exploded, flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Ah. Labitte gritted his teeth as though he had gone mad. The 8 blood demon warriors he controlled. He could at most control 9 slaves right now, and this already took up 8. With 8 slaves killed, he was destined to only have 1 slave now. "Your Majesty, let's go." Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. So, 2 beams of light pierced through space, leaving behind Labitte roaring furiously. Luo Feng and Dylan sat in the UNMO planet ship, flying through the dark universe, simultaneously heading towards one of the mineral planets in the Guluan universe countries due to our starfield to meet up with the virtual universe company. That Labitte is really arrogant even in front of an Undying. Undyings don't wish to offend the Blood Demon Emperor, hence they usually don't kill him. However, punishment is very normal. Look, 8 of his soul slaves were destroyed, isn't that pitiful? He probably doesn't have more than 10 slave slots. Luo Feng muttered and smiled. One had to be extremely careful with the soul slaves. Every time he controls 1 soul servant, even Luo Feng, who trained in the 10,000 soul controlling technique, could at most control 100 soul servants. He's used to being domineering. Dylan smiled. He does have the right to be domineering 8 sector lord slaves. Luo Feng mocked. Sector lord slaves? Luo Feng indeed didn't put them in his eyes now. The Bug Clan Mother Nest had been nurturing bug soldiers for a long period of time. In the past 2 to 3 years, it had already nurtured about 10,000 sector lord pinnacle bug soldiers. This 10,000 sector lord bug army, under the full control of the Bug Clan Queen Alina, could definitely clash head-on with normal official level Undyings. Naturally, whether it was Luo Feng or Dylan, they didn't put Labitte in their eyes. After flying for 3 days, in a nameless mineral planet in the Du-Tua starfield, space rippled and a blood-colored triangular universe ship appeared. The cabin door automatically opened and 2 silhouettes flew towards that nameless planet. 3 silhouettes flew out of a black universe ship in a crater on the surface of the planet. These 3 met up with Luo Feng and Dylan. "Your Majesty, Luo Feng." The 3 that flew out, the leader was a white-browed old man with wings. He smiled. "Your Majesty can release the 10 billion star travelers." Activating the world ring, immediately a sea of star travelers were released. This desolate nameless planet's entire surface was filled with people. The densely packed star travelers were suddenly transferred here. All of them were at a loss as they surveyed their surroundings. Rumble. The white-browed old man suddenly released an endless green tornado, surrounding the entire planet and all the star travelers on it. The white-browed old man stood in mid-air. Behind him, a 100 kilometers tall silhouette appeared. His aura emanated, allowing everyone to clearly see that majestic silhouette. "From today onwards, the 10 billion of you can leave the Du-Tua starfield. You don't have to go through the blood demon trials anymore. Our virtual universe company will give you a peaceful life." The white-browed winged old man's voice resounded in everyone's mind, immediately causing the 10 billion star travelers to be stunned. Following which they were in ecstasy. Howling, crying, cheering. "Woo-wah, woo-wah, we don't have to die, we don't have to die. Brother, brother?" The brother and sister hugged each other tightly. As close to 10 billion people were spread across half of the mineral planet, the 2 siblings happened to be very close to Luo Feng, Dylan and the others in mid-air. With their star traveler level strength they could see Luo Feng, Dylan and the others clearly. "It's the black-clothed demon god," the lady said. "Ah, it's him." The youth's eyes gleamed. "It's the black-clothed demon god that forbade us from killing in the grass plains before. Only his armor has changed." Before, Luo Feng had placed the 10 billion people into his world ring. However, he was worried that they would kill each other. Hence, demon killer Luo Feng appeared and shocked them. After the white-browed winged old man finished speaking, he too placed the 10 billion people into his world ring. The entire planet once again returned to its calm and desolate state. The white-browed winged old man flashed and landed before Luo Feng. "Your second round of mission has been completed. You should have completed the mission. I should tell you about the 3rd round." "Ah." Luo Feng was stunned. Simultaneously, "Luo Feng, there's mail." Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. "Haha." The white-browed winged old man looked at Luo Feng's expression and laughed. "Your Majesty should have received the mail. Please look at it first. In a while, I'll bring you to the 3rd round." Luo Feng's consciousness immediately connected to the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Within the study. Open. Luo Feng sat before his desk and looked at his laptop screen, gently opening the mail. Wah. The mail opened. The contents were: "You've completed the 2nd round of the highest points mission. After the evaluation of the other members, Luo Feng, your 2nd round is 90%. You've earned 180,000 points. and you have the right to proceed to the third round. Comments: you who are bloodthirsty actually chose the weaker 10 billion star traveler level. Obviously you pity the weaker ones more, or should I say you treat the star traveler and star levels fairly. Killing over 1 million people, you're still as calm as water. Yet you're willing to choose these weaklings, shocking us all. This second round gives you a 90% completion rating. I hope for the third and fourth rounds you'll surprise us. Luo Feng laughed. Labitte on his shoulder laughed too. Labitte, I dare to bet that amongst the judges of this highest points mission, the one who truly holds the power to judge should be the kinder one who doesn't like to kill. Luo Feng laughed. The first round was because of my bloodthirsty killing. Luckily I was calm and didn't go crazy, hence they gave me 82%. This time, seeing that I chose the weaker ones, they actually gave me a 90% completion rating. Between the lines of the judging, Luo Feng could feel the upper echelon who wrote this mail, the kindness in his bones. Don't get cocky. Labitte shook his head. The first and second rounds may seem easy, however these are after all the highest points missions. It truly tests one's temperament. It's a mission to judge the core members. This mission isn't just about the points on the surface. It also determines whether or not you'll be used by the Virtual Universe Company in the future. Luo Feng nodded. His teacher had talked about it before. This was a mission the Virtual Universe Company used to truly get to know the core members. If a core member was bloodthirsty and had no bottom line, incomparably crazy, maybe in the future this core member would become an absolute warrior. However, at most he would become a general for the human race to kill other races. He definitely wouldn't hold any real power, and the level of nurturing he would receive would be reduced too. Third round mission. Luo Feng gently opened another mail. He smiled as he read the contents. After which, Luo Feng's smile froze, his eyes stared wide as he stared hard at the contents. Damn it. The Virtual Universe Company is really damn powerful. Luo Feng was completely shocked by the third round mission. There was a late update yesterday, hence there would be a total of 3 updates today. Wow. The fist-sized Labitte on Luo Feng's shoulder stared wide-eyed, shocked. The Virtual Universe Company is indeed the Virtual Universe Company. This is a naked slap in the face. Luo Feng shook his head and laughed bitterly. How is he forcing the Blood Demon Emperor? He's forcing me. The mail said. Third round of mission. The Blood Demon Emperor controls the entire Dutua starfield, with hundreds of Undyings under him. Even though he hasn't done anything that goes beyond his limits, the warriors under him have a few who have done so. 21 of them have been confirmed. There are 2 Undyings and 19 sector lords. They were Hu Erda. Undying, given the Chitai Galaxy by the Blood Demon Emperor, he has once massacred the lives of hundreds of planets in the galaxy, and also plundered large amounts of people into his god country. Isop, Undying. AID, Sector Lord. Aoku Fei, Sector Lord. He once gathered over 10 billion young ladies on his planet, conducting the craziest blood demon ceremony, turning them into a sea of blood and flesh. And before. Mission requirements. The Virtual Universe Company has already ordered the Blood Demon Emperor to capture these 21. Right now he has already captured them and locked them within the Blood Demon planet. Luo Feng, quickly head to the Blood Demon planet. To judge these 21, the results can be death penalty, 1 million years in prison, 100 years in prison, or not guilty. The fate of these 21 is in your hands, Luo Feng. You can judge them according to your own judgment. Whether they live or die will be completely up to you. Remember, when you reach the Blood Demon planet, you have to activate the Virtual Universe Network to teleport. Only after the judgment is over can you close it. Within the study, Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh bitterly. He knew long ago that this mission with the highest points wouldn't be this easy. The first and second round had no difficulty at all. There wasn't even any danger. In this third round, the Virtual Universe Company was very powerful, immediately ordering the Blood Demon Emperor to capture the 21. Even though the Blood Demon Emperor was a member of the Great Alliance, the Virtual Universe Company's power had obviously reached a pinnacle. How could a mere Blood Demon Emperor defy them? Naturally he would listen obediently and capture the 21. However, right now the judgment of these 21 was given to Luo Feng, and he had to personally head to the Blood Demon planet. The Blood Demon Star. That was the lair of the Blood Demon King. If he went there he would definitely see the Blood Demon King, and if he were to judge his subordinates in front of the Blood Demon King, wouldn't that be a slap in the face? The most important part of the trial is naturally being hated by the Blood Demon King. Luo Feng shook his head. After all, the severity of the punishment is completely up to me. If the punishment is too light, it would be going against my conscience. You really are forcing me. The Virtual Universe Company ordering the Blood Demon King would definitely make him angry, yet he wouldn't dare disobey. Luo Feng laughed bitterly. From the way the Blood Demon Emperor did things, it was obvious he wasn't a good person. Offending a powerful emperor-level Undying for no reason? On the mineral planet. In mid-air, Luo Feng, Dylan, and the white-browed winged old man stood in mid-air conversing. The white-browed feathered old man smiled. Your Majesty Luo Feng, have you already checked the third round? Luo Feng nodded, revealing a look of helplessness. Haha. The white-browed feathered old man laughed upon seeing that. Relax, even though that Blood Demon planet is the Blood Demon King's base, even if you give him 10 guts, unless he's looking for death. Otherwise he definitely wouldn't dare to touch you. If he doesn't dare now, what about in the future? Luo Feng shook his head. That'll depend on your own choice. If the punishment is light, the Blood Demon King will naturally remember your favor. The white-browed feathered old man mocked. Alright, I won't speak further. Your Majesty Luo Feng, please follow me to Blood Demon Planet. Luo Feng wasn't in a good mood, he still nodded and kept the UNMO planet ship. After which, he and Dylan entered the black ship sent by the Virtual Universe Company and headed towards Blood Demon Planet. Blood Demon Planet, the true core planet of the Dutua starfield. The over 10,000 galaxies that were undergoing the Blood Demon trials were all sent to Blood Demon Planet. Large amounts of Blood Demon warriors gathered here, even Sector Lords and Undyings would frequently appear on Blood Demon Planet. Also, the high and mighty Blood Demon King lived here too, it was obviously a true demon cave. They're too much. The Virtual Universe Company is simply too much. The roar reverberated throughout the entire Blood Devil Palace, causing all the servants in the palace to tremble in fear. Within the palace, the god in scarlet armor and helmet stood there and roared angrily. The 18 Undyings beside him were all respectful. If he wants to capture my underlings, he can just do it. Instead, he's forcing me to act personally and capture Puerta and the 21 others. The Blood Demon King's eyes were burning with flames. He wants to punish my underlings and he's forcing me to act personally. He even sent his underlings to destroy one of my galaxy's Blood Demon trials. He really doesn't put me, the Blood Demon King, in his eyes. The 18 Undyings all seemed furious on the surface, however within they were all muttering. Not putting the Blood Demon King in his eyes? What a joke. How could the Virtual Universe Company possibly put the Blood Demon King in their eyes? With the Virtual Universe Company, the Blood Demon King was like a ball of dough. If they wanted him to be round, he'd be round. If they wanted him to be flat, he'd be flat. They're too much, too much. The Blood Demon King roared furiously, unable to hide his rage. I've said it before, I'll give you all your galaxies and let you manage them. However, remember not to cross the bottom line. The Blood Demon King turned to look at the 18 Undyings beside him. See, now Puerta and Aesop's fates have been seen. You and the others remember this. We'll remember. The 18 Undyings bowed respectfully. Lord. One of the short and sturdy Undyings said respectfully. Didn't the Virtual Universe Company say that they'll send Primal Region member Luo Feng over to judge? How they punish Puerta and the others will be up to him. A small domain lord, at least the lord can show some respect. He definitely wouldn't dare offend the lord. When the time comes, he'll definitely be given a light sentence, maybe even not guilty. The Blood Demon King replied solemnly. That makes sense. I think that Luo Feng punk wouldn't dare mess around in front of me. No matter, Puerta and the others were under me back then, naturally I'll try my best to protect their lives. These sort of lone warriors usually treated their subordinates even better. If they came to join you, you naturally had to take on the responsibility of being the leader. Puerta and Aesop came back then, if they couldn't even protect their lives. Even though the Undyings under the Blood Demon King didn't dare say anything, they definitely wouldn't blindly follow the Blood Demon King anymore. The internal cohesion would naturally drop. 6 days later, a black universe ship appeared in the galaxy outside Blood Demon Planet. Your Majesty Luo Feng, look, that's Blood Demon Planet. The white-browed winged old man pointed into the distance. Luo Feng looked over. In the distant space there was a completely blood-red planet. Just looking at it with the naked eye was enough to make one tremble. Oh. The spaceship quickly flew towards Blood Demon Planet. As it got closer they could see some huge mountain buildings on the surface of Blood Demon Planet. From the outside, the entire Blood Demon Planet didn't seem to be technologically advanced. The huge buildings were built in the shape of mountains. And the inside of the mountain peaks were actually completely hollow. So, piercing through the atmosphere, the ship headed straight for the most majestic palace on the planet. Your Majesty Luo Feng, that's the Blood Demon Palace. The white-browed winged old man pointed into the distance. There was the most majestic palace. Surrounding it were many smaller palaces. Even though they were small, in truth they were all a few km in radius. Many of the smaller palaces surrounded the larger palace. Before the large palace, there was a plaza that was 10 kilometers in radius. At this time there were large amounts of warriors standing there. With a glance there were thousands of them. The weakest was a sector lord, and the leader was a god dressed in a red armor. Luo Feng and the others could feel the tyrannical blood energy even through the ship. The ship slowly descended and landed in the plaza. The cabin door opened. The white-browed winged old man Luo Feng, Dylan and a total of 5 walked out. We greet the Blood Demon Emperor. The white-browed winged old man bowed and introduced, this is our Virtual Universe Company's Primal Region Genius, Your Majesty Luo Feng. Luo Feng also slightly bowed to show his respect to his senior. At the same time he was also quietly observing the Blood Demon King. Although the Blood Demon King had already restrained his aura, it would not make Luo Feng feel pressured. However, the scarlet armor and the Blood Demon King's body faintly emitted a weak aura that still made people feel like they were looking at an endless sea of blood. He wore a helmet and mask, hence it was hard to see his face clearly. You are Luo Feng? The Blood Demon Emperor laughed loudly. True Yen Emperor has indeed taken in a good disciple. I heard that not long ago, you even broke my Vili Galaxy's Blood Demon trials? Luo Feng was stunned, replying, yes. Haha, no need to explain. The Blood Demon Emperor waved his hand. A galaxy's Blood Demon trial doesn't mean much. Over 1 trillion years, I've held who knows how many times in the tens of thousands of galaxies of the Duta starfield. Missing 1 or 10 times isn't a big deal. Different statuses and perspectives were different. To the Blood Demon Emperor, doing 10 trials at a time wasn't much. However, to his underlings, it was a huge matter. How could they be careless? This blood demon emperor seems rather forthright. Luo Feng thought as he watched. However, he was forced to capture his 21 elites, 2 of which were Undyings. As long as they have a temper, they would definitely be unhappy. Maybe he doesn't care about 8 to 10 trials, but me ruining it is like slapping his face. It would be a lie to say I don't care. He thought so. On the surface, Luo Feng was filled with gratitude. Thank you, Blood Demon Emperor, for understanding. Understand? Of course I understand. You are working for the Virtual Universe Company. However, work is work, you have the authority to decide many things. The Blood Demon Emperor laughed loudly. Am I right? The white eyebrows winged old man interrupted. Your Majesty, Luo Feng naturally holds a certain amount of authority. Whether those 21 are sentenced to death, to jail or not, it's all up to your Majesty Luo Feng. This old punk. Luo Feng was furious. Luo Feng's authority is indeed not small. Haha. The Blood Demon Emperor laughed even louder as he looked at Luo Feng. The 100 Undyings under him all looked at Luo Feng, the 1000 Sector Lords too looked at him.